up to this point, you've seen how to set up a new business in Finagraph. You've seen what the Finagraph looks like, and for that matter, how to use what it looks like to entice your clients to want you to use it. By now, if you're like me, you're probably anxious as anything, wondering, okay, Seth, how do I get this thing linked to my own data so I can start really using this product? And that's what we're about to take a look at here. There are 3 accounting products, as of the time I'm recording this, that Finagraph works with. There's QuickBooks Desktop, all versions and editions. There's QuickBooks Online, and there's Xero. Finagraph will work with any of these accounting products. So we're going to show you exactly how to link up Finagraph to your accounting software in this lesson. Let's see what this looks like. When you go to set up a new business in Finagraph, and for that matter, after the fact, you can go back and edit that business, which gets you back to this same screen. As you can see, it's what you've already seen when I showed you how to set it up. It's the screen where you enter the company name, the zip code, the NAICS code. And over here under accounting system, it shows you where the accounting system is. And if you've never done this yet, then of course there's not going to be anything showing here, and it's going to ask you to click to link it up. Now if this is your first time using Finagraph, you're going to be asked to install a little application that actually allows Finagraph to work through your browser to access your QuickBooks desktop data, if that's in fact the accounting system that you're choosing. Notice when I click change here, there are 3 choices: QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, and Xero. It says that Xero's in beta, but from what I understand from my friends at Finagraph, it's really not in beta anymore. They just haven't made it official yet, so the word still appears there. So the bottom line is, if you're using Xero, this should work and will work, based on my understanding, with Xero. It'll work very well. And notice under Desktop, it works with all the different editions, whether you're Enterprise, Premier, Pro, and so on. So once you've done that, it will link up. It will have you install that application, link everything up. If you're using Finagraph with any of the QuickBooks Desktop editions, it's highly recommended that you use it in Chrome. The reason is that Finagraph has a nice integration where through Chrome you'll be asked to install an application which makes it very easy for Finagraph to extract the data from your QuickBooks Desktop software. It's really easy to get all this done, and that's what excites me the most about this, is the part that you might expect would be the most difficult, getting it properly linked so that it can extract the accounting data out of your product, is actually very seamless and easy to do. All it takes on the desktop editions is that you have the company file open while you're about to link Finagraph to it. Finagraph will pretty much do the rest for you. It will prompt you. You'll have to give it permission to access your QuickBooks data. Once you've given it that permission, you can pretty much sit back and wait. It takes up to maybe about 3 minutes because it has to upload all the data from your desktop edition, then process it, and then render it into the Finagraph. If you're using Finagraph with the 2 cloud accounting products that it works with, QuickBooks Online or Xero, then the process is even faster and even more seamless. And then it's just a matter of adding the Finagraph. Now the first time it'll of course jump right into that process. But the other way is after you've already created a Finagraph, as I've done for example here for my iRetail online company, and notice up here it shows previous Finagraph. So notice it shows that I did one at 11:51 a.m. and another at 1:09 p.m. So you can create all the new Finagraphs you want based on having updated the information. So every time you click new Finagraph, it's going to update. And Finagraph goes back, I believe it's 5 years that it goes back that far in terms of the data that it gathers from your accounting data file. You always, with the desktop edition, want to make sure that you have QuickBooks open, and that way Finagraph will grab the information for whatever file is open and update that here. So I'm going to click New Finagraph. And I have an opportunity here to change the accounting system in case for some reason I've upgraded to QuickBooks Online and want to do the same with Finagraph. Otherwise, I just choose Link to Finagraph. And it lets me know the Financial Link software is downloading. That's that little application I had to install. And notice what it's doing. So now it's identifying the key inputs. Then it's going to securely upload the data from my QuickBooks desktop file. And then it's going to process it. So the upload, of course, depending on your internet connection, should be nice and quick. The processing may take a minute. Depends how long it's been since you last did it. So since this is the 3rd time I'm doing this particular one on the same day, the processing may in fact go quickly. I'm not going to make you sit here and wait for this 2% to get to 100%. I'm going to pause the recording. And we reached 100%. And here we are with yet another updated Finagraph. Now, you're not going to see any data change because I haven't changed any data in the source data since doing this. However, you will see up here that I now have one that's collected on March 4th at 5:30 p.m. So, in other words, we have one new Finagraph. And you can click on the old Finagraphs to get access to see what the information was. But just to be clear, you don't need to do that for comparative purposes because that's all here. And what you're going to be able to do now that you know you can do this, and you can do this as often as you want, is when you're using this for a client, every time that you've, say, updated their books, whether you're doing it monthly, maybe you're doing it weekly, you can do it every day if you want it. Let's say every day after you do the banking download and match in all the transactions, you want to get an updated Finagraph, you could do that. But ultimately, you're looking at this based on the way it's laid out here, monthly, quarterly, or by year. And so the idea here is, I would think at the very least, you probably want to do it every month so that you can look at February, as of the time I'm recording this, isn't really complete for this particular company because the month just ended like a minute ago. So we haven't had a chance to include all the information to update it. But you can see that it's here because Finagraph sees on the clock that the month has been completed. The point I'm trying to make is you certainly want to do this every month so you can get the monthly comparative data here. And when you look at it quarterly, you'll see that it will show you things based on each quarter that has closed. So it's March 2015 as of the time I'm recording this. The quarter hasn't finished yet, the first quarter of 2015, which is why you're not seeing that here. It won't show it until it's actually completed. And then, of course, we can go year over year here. In this particular company's case, we started the file right at the end of 2012 and just entered some beginning information to get it started. So that's where you're seeing like a little bit of money here. But the reality is you can do this every single month and get the comparative data, and that's what you really want to do, because what's more important on this stuff, in my opinion, than anything else is being able to analyze the trends. What happened from last month to this month? What happened from last quarter to this quarter? And the trends are what's important. The data itself is almost useless if you don't have something to compare it to, which is why when we compare the ratios, we do it based on either industry average data, or as you're going to see in an upcoming lesson, we can actually customize the flags, which is over here, so that it can, instead of being based on industry average data, we can make it be based on our own goals that we want to set for ourselves and for our clients. That, my friends, is what it's all about when it comes to setting up your Finagraphs, adding new Finagraphs, and everything you wanted to know about how all that works. As always, if you have any questions, and especially if you're an enrolled student at schoolofbookkeeping.com, take advantage of our answers forum and ask those questions there. I'll be happy to answer them. If you are not an enrolled student, enroll so that you can take advantage of that same forum. Alternatively, you can take advantage of our public forums and ask your questions there, and I'm sure somebody at some point will be happy to get in there and provide an answer for you. As always, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. As you can see, the hardest part probably about linking Finagraph to your accounting software is the wait from once you finish the very simple process until it actually renders the Finagraph. And I'm joking, of course, a little bit about that because you're going to be anxious to see this thing render and see what it looks like when you're looking at your real live data. It's very simple, easy to do. You've now seen how to do it. So now we're ready to take a look at the next thing, which is once that data is there and populated, let's see how we can interact with this data and really bring it all to life.